We're almost halfway through Women's History Month and we're having a great time. Today, let's talk about women in STEM. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me. On my channel, we talk about all things homeschool. I have a daughter who is almost in 5th grade and we are having a blast. And on my channel, we just share our journey. We talk about all of the things that we're doing in homeschool. I also really like curriculum. I think you would call me a curriculum junkie. So I try to share what I like about different curricula and workbooks. Today, we are joining a collaboration with Michelle Gay, science teacher, who's one of my favorites, all about encouraging our daughters in STEM. And I was so thankful when Michelle invited me to participate in this collaboration because this is something that we incorporate every day. This is right up our alley. Love our science experiments, and we're going to talk about some of those today. We've actually been involved in science for quite a few years now. First of all, I want to mention one of our favorite books. It's called Rosie, Revere, Engineer. And one of the reasons that we like this book so much is Rosie learns to try again. Rosie learns that her first attempt may not be the perfect attempt, but she just can't give up. And so that is one of the things that I'm really trying to teach my daughter is don't give up. Your failure only happens when you stop trying. My goal is for my daughter to do whatever she is called to do. And I don't want her to ever think that she can't do something. And, when I was doing research about it, it says that one of the reasons that girls don't really thrive in STEM related fields is because they don't have role models. Well, that is truly a thing of the past because now there are definitely role models in STEM related fields for women, and I am so thankful for that. So we have this great book, which is Women in Science, 50 Fearless Pioneers Who Changed the World. Utilize this book just occasionally when it really relates to what we're talking about. And today I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Mae Jemison. Now, Michelle Gay, science teacher, does have a great video on Dr. Jemison, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about is a quote from her. Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. It's your place in the world. It's your life. Go on and do all you can with it and make it the life you want to live. And that is just an amazing quote. It truly sums up my philosophy of what I want my daughter to learn. I want her to find what she's interested in and just grab it and go with it. So the main reasons that we facilitate STEM in our homeschool, number one is it is strategic. So it teaches you direction, and you have to follow direction within the science experiments, which we are all about science experiments here. We have a couple of books that we just keep laying around, and whenever my daughter decides she wants to do a science experiment, these or others she goes to, and then we do the science experiments. Sometimes it's related to what we're discussing in homeschool, and sometimes it's just a fun science experiment. And that is great because that's why she calls science experiments not real school. It's just fun for her. But you have to be strategic. Within experiments, you have to be strategic if you want them to work. And you know what? Within life, you really do need to be strategic. It sharpens your focus and establishes direction. If you do not follow the directions, then your experiments aren't going to work most of the time. If you don't follow the directions, then you're not going to get a correct answer. So you have to be strategic in what you do in life, and you have to be strategic when you are working with STEM subjects.
We are doing crystal names. So we got out 3 jars, and then we got one big one. It's only because we're doing 2 in 1 jar. And we measured 9 tablespoons of borax in these 3, and then 18 in this one, because you need to double the amount because you're doing 2. And we did 3. You boil some water, and then you do 3 cups in each one. And then on this one, we did 7, because you need to make sure that the letters are covered and not touching any of the bowl. So we did 7, but you're supposed to double the amount, but it didn't work. And then you need to make sure that you have different mixing spoons for each one. And then you pick whichever food color you want. The darker you want, the more drops you do, but the darker works the best.
You ready to pull them out?
Yeah, so we're going to pull them out. So this one is the first letter of my name. It's E. So it didn't really turn colors because of I did really light water. See a little blue on the top, and it got darker than a lot of them. So that's how it turned out.
Now T, teachable. Can you see where I'm going here? ST so far? So T, you have to be teachable. So if you aren't teachable, if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you don't get the results that you want. Just like with this experiment, this little video clip, this was probably about the 3rd time we tried this experiment, and you'll hear her say, "We're doing this again." So we had to be teachable. We had to learn what we were doing wrong, and so then we were teachable so that we could get the results that we wanted. And being teachable is something that you need on a job. You can't walk into a job knowing everything. You have to be taught. Even if you just have to be taught the processes of that company, you have to be willing to be teachable.
Okay, so we're doing it again. So you need a dry piece, and then you need to place it on, and then you need to take a dry paper clip. Then you need to make sure that you do not touch the water or the tissue paper. And I'm just going to kind of drop it. Need a pencil. This is what we forgot, a pencil. So you need to push.
Don't touch the, good job. And your paper clip is floating.
Yes.
E, STEM teaches you to be empathetic because you're not going to get it right every time. You're not going to succeed in that experiment every time, just like we didn't succeed in this one.
So I've just now watched Michelle Gay's Science Rocket experiment. So I built it, but we didn't have a film container, so we had to use a Walmart pill bottle. So, and I'm about to pour some water in here, and then we have an Alka-Seltzer that we're going to drop in. I'm going to put on the lid, set it down, jump back, and then it should go up a little bit.
It busted, and now the water's running out.
Why I think that it didn't work is because the cap has little holes in it, and whenever it put the pressure, it kind of fell off because I didn't really push it down tight. So the water would come out, and then that wouldn't dissolve the Alka-Seltzer. So that's why I think that it didn't work.
But when you don't succeed, you can be empathetic in understanding when others need a little bit more help. And then you have that teachable moment and you can figure out what you did wrong. What do you need to change to make it work? Do you have the materials? Sometimes you just don't have all the materials. Sometimes other people don't have all the materials either. And so you have to be empathetic for the situations that others are in life. You have to be methodical. And that really means thorough. You have to be thorough. So in this little clip, if you see, she is counting exactly how many drops of food coloring she's going to put in here. And the reason why is because we had tried again. We had tried this a number of different times and it didn't work. It didn't work for a variety of reasons. We made it work this time, but we were methodical in what we did. We learned from our mistakes. We were teachable and we were strategic in following the directions exactly. And then we were methodical and we got the result that we wanted.
If you watch the fireworks in a jar, we're technically doing the exact same thing where you get water, then you put oil on it, then we're going to do a couple drops of food coloring, and then we're going to add an Alka-Seltzer pill thing to see if it makes any difference. $20. 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
Some of them didn't sync.
That's fine.
So you need to jerk, place.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
How's it doing that? Okay, so it's like a little volcano where it just keeps on going up, but then you can see that there's way bigger bubbles around it. Right there, you can see the little volcano-like thing.
Okay.
That's cool.
So yes, we definitely include STEM quite a bit in our homeschool, exposing her to these STEM subjects by letting her be strategic and teachable and empathetic and methodical. I think that that will let her go far in life, whether she chooses a STEM career or not. It's still characteristics that will be very beneficial to her. Throughout this video, I've really tried to explain why we encourage our daughter to study STEM subjects, to really dig into the science, the technology, the engineering, the math. One of the other topics Michelle asked us to touch on was some of the resources and the ways that we encourage STEM in our homeschool. I will go ahead and link up here a few of the videos that I've done that will highlight some of the resources that we use. But specifically, I use books. I like books. So Women of Invention. And because we are doing an invention study right now, so I utilize books. We also utilize field trips. And so when we were able to go to science centers, we really enjoyed that. Whenever there's events going on in the world that are related to STEM, we try to watch them, and so that's a lot of fun as well. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I appreciate your time. I appreciate Michelle Gay, science teacher, for hosting this collaboration. I love this topic, and I think that it is just great that we're having it during Women's History Month. Please see in the description below, and I will list the playlist, also Michelle Gay Science Teacher YouTube channel, and some of her videos that demonstrate the experiments that we've talked about today. Also, I would really appreciate it if you'd give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. Please leave in the comment section the science experiments that you like to do in your homeschool. I'm always looking for new ones, and I really appreciate the feedback. So I hope that you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.